Hey, welcome to In Case You Missed It. I always like to do a very brief summary of the discussion that we had last Sunday at New Day Fellowship. And the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at how to change a distorted image of ourselves and to begin to see ourselves as God sees us. And this past week, I came across a rather disturbing statement by a young person who said, "I'm 28 years old, and these days I feel like I'm floating in the middle of the ocean with nothing to grasp onto and no shoreline in sight. I'm just treading water trying to stay alive." And they go on to say that, "Do I have another 40 years or so of paying bills and then a cold hole in the ground to look forward to? And I feel like I have no direction, no purpose, and no real human experience. Please help." Well, what's the cure for those types of feelings and perspectives on life? Well, the cure is for us to begin to see ourselves the way that God sees us. And this particular person mentioned not having a purpose and direction, but God sees us as having an incredible purpose and direction. Matter of fact, if you look in Ephesians chapter 2:10, the Apostle Paul said this, "For we are God's workmanship," which means his work of art. "We are God's workmanship created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." So God has good work for us to do. And what is that good work? Well, ultimately, it's to glorify God and proclaim the gospel. And so that's our purpose. And so God doesn't see us as people without purpose or direction, but he sees us as people with an incredible purpose and an incredible direction. And that is to bring glory to him and to share that with other people. The person that wrote this letter also appeared to be very weak and afraid. They were saying they felt like they were in the middle of an ocean and they were drowning, and there was no shoreline in sight. Well, the Apostle Paul felt like that at one point in his life. He was just overwhelmed by all of the persecutions and the trials and the tribulations that he faced for fulfilling his purpose of glorifying God and proclaiming the gospel. And so he cried out to Jesus to rescue him from that. And here's how Jesus responded to him in 2 Corinthians 12, beginning in verse 8. And he says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." And the Apostle Paul concluded, "For when I am weak, then I am strong." Why? Because Christ's power is made perfect in his weaknesses. And so God doesn't see us as weak and afraid, but he sees us as powerful through Christ. This person also mentioned being hopeless and saying, "Look, what I have just another 40 years of paying bills, going to work, and then a cold hole in the ground." Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. In Christ, we are not hopeless, but God sees us as being hopeful. Peter says this, that we are born into a living hope through Christ's resurrection. So our destiny is not a cold hole in the ground, but our destiny is life through Christ's resurrection. And just as he rose from the dead, he will one day raise us from the dead, and we will spend eternity in the presence of the Lord. And so that's our hope. We are not hopeless, but we are hopeful. Well, those are just a few of the highlights of what we discussed this past Sunday. If you'd like more details and hear the full discussion, you can go to our YouTube channel. Just search New Day Fellowship in Shippensburg, and the channel will come up, and you can watch the whole service. Or better yet, try joining us on Sunday mornings at 10:30. We are currently meeting at the Firefighters Activity Center in Shippensburg, 33 West Orange Street. And we would love to have you for a free breakfast, worship, and Bible discussion. And you can be a part of what we talk about too. All right, guys, you have a great day.